just paused at the bottom, just come down these steps that you can't see the top, and then I've got to go up that side. So I thought, I'm a little bit out of the wind here, so I'll do something. So that was a really good camp. Amazing spot. Amazing. I think I'm getting tired, because last night when I was saying, oh, I'll just do this, and then I'd wake up, so I just kept on falling asleep. But not out of the window. Right, I think it's paused. I kept falling asleep. Anyway, it was a good night's sleep. The only thing is I dreamt that the tent was flapping around quite a lot in the wind last night, and I dreamt that I decided to get up and pull all the tent pegs out. So then I was thinking, oh right, okay, so I'm packing up the tent now. But it was dark and stuff. I'm thinking, why are you packing the tent up? Anyway, it was all really odd. But after all that, I think I've really got a good night's sleep. It's amazing, the sea is so noisy, the wind's noisy, but you still sleep really well. So yeah, good. Had a bit of a lazy morning as well. I didn't get moving till about 7:30. Saw one jogger. She was ever so friendly. She said, oh, how far have you come today? And I pointed at the flat grass, and I said, oh, I've just come from there. So that was funny. The boots, I didn't get new boots in St Ives. I think I wrote that. Do you know what? I'm going to try and get these to the end. I know it's stupid. I know it's really stupid, but they're comfortable, and I've got a roll of tape in my bag, so I'm just going to keep rolling it around the toes. If I can get them to the end, it'll be that's the best solution, I think. New shoes, I think it's just going to cause me more trouble than it's worth. In 5 miles, sorry, not 5 miles, not 5 miles, in 5 days when they're hanging off me, I'll be saying stuff very different. A lot of rain in the night. I love the rain when you're in the tent, but luckily I can see black clouds on the horizon. I don't know. So far so good though, and often I'm out of the wind, so it's good. Right, some things that way, which I'll get to next. But ultimately, it's St Agnes that we're heading to today, and there was a campsite I stayed at near a place called Poole. So I'm hoping to get back in there again, because I did like that campsite, and I think it was cheap. I think it's like a £5, which is really good, and they've got a shop and stuff. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get up that hill now. Is that yes? I think we're tracking. I think we're not gonna have like last night when the top of my head was chopped off. Proper windy at the end of the day. so windy. It was just like, because you have your backpack on, there's more to catch the wind, so it's like blowing me around all over the path and stuff. I don't like wind. I'd rather have rain than wind, although normally you seem to get, when you get the rain, you get the wind as well, and then I'd rather just have the wind. So that was the last few miles. I love the watching the waves and stuff. I was trying to work out, my dad told me the story about when him and his brother were fishing near Poole, which is where I'm at, and a big wave came towards them, and they were saved by a rock that was in the way. And I was just trying to work out where they would have been fishing. I'm not sure if I worked it out correctly. Well, no, I know I didn't work it out correctly. I'm not sure even what I was looking were candidates for it. But there was a few that I thought maybe. I always assumed it was a big rock, like a massive one out, but now I realise they'll probably smoking. They might have been smoking, but they shouldn't have been. Just fishing, sort of nearer the bay, but I'm really not sure. Anyway, yeah, so windy. So I'm at a campsite, I've had a shower, I bought a pizza, they do pizzas at the campsite, and I've also treated myself to a cider. I've never had one of these, but Jenny says they're nice, so we'll see how that goes down. But yeah, it's been an alright day. I did the miles I expected to do, got to the campsite I wanted to get to, got buffeted around, like I say, by the wind, but it wasn't all the time. Often you were shielded by other bits of land, so it was okay. I'm a bit worried about tomorrow and the next day because you're quite exposed and the forecasts are the same, plus rain tomorrow, so I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm trying not to think about it because it is what it is, but yeah, I'll be lying if I said I'm not worried about it. But we'll just have to deal with it, won't we? But 18 miles of rain and that wind. I know this is fun and you do it because you enjoy it, but sometimes it can be quite hard. And at that moment, you don't feel like you're having fun. It's weird today, actually. Everyone's been so friendly all the time, and the last few days, I think because it's holiday period, it's felt less sort of friendly. I almost felt quite lonely this morning. I had to text some of my friends just to make myself feel happy, because it feels colder in a way, not like the people are more cold. Before it felt more warm and embracing, so that's been strange. Like there was a guy today, I was just sat having some lunch and he walked past and it was really like slope with loose rock and stuff. It was quite difficult to walk, and he went, "Oh, you're right." I went, "Yeah." I said, "That's slippy, isn't it?" He went, "No, it's fine." And I was like, okay. I mean, even if you, I don't know, I just found it a bit odd. And he was wrong anyway, it was slippy. And another person said, oh, how are you? And I said, "Oh, I'm all right." I said, "Oh, this wind's a bit much." And he went, "No, it's all right." I was like, okay. So that was a bit, I don't know, I'm probably reading, it's probably my mood more than anyone else's, but yeah, it just feels like a bit different at the moment. It's quite busy as well. Like this campsite's packed, and when you go play through like Perranporth and stuff, that's really busy. I do like I think I like the isolation, but then I like, when I meet people, I like the friendliness, and I suppose that's maybe what I've been missing today. Was that overly negative? I didn't mean it to be. Just an observation, really. I've got some strawberries as well later, so I've got pizza, then Rattlers, and then I've got some, is it Rattlers? No, Rattler, a Rattler, and then strawberries. So I'm living it up. Can't think of anything else. The boots are still in one piece. Every day is a miracle. We'll see if they get through. Right, I'm gonna go. I'll speak to you in Newquay. So the weather has definitely turned. It's raining and it's going to be really, really windy later. Up to gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to get to a youth hostel, and actually I've booked a room there because I don't fancy pitching my tent in 50 mile an hour winds, especially not near the sea. There is a chance I could have found somewhere shielded. Might have been alright. But with the heavy rain and the strong winds today, I decided to give myself a break. Well, weather-wise, temp-wise. So that's the plan. I've left fairly early. Do you know what? Considering the weather and looking at the forecast, I was actually quite upbeat this morning. Felt alright. Made sure all the stuff that needs to stay dry was in dry bags and stuff, so everything else is going to get wet. I'm alright with that. Yeah. More upbeat than I probably should have been. So we'll see what happens later. I've looked at the tide times. There's a bridge that's you can only cross at low tide to get to Newquay. I've looked and I hope I should get there just as it gets low enough so I don't have to wait too long. I think it's probably about 21 miles I've got to do today to get to this youth hostel, and I'd like to get there early-ish so I can get some dinner there. So that's the plan. That's the plan. It was really windy last night, but I had to go to the toilet just before I went to sleep, and I took the opportunity to tighten all the guy ropes, and it seemed it's settled the tent down a bit. So I slept really well. It was a really good night's sleep. Very happy with that. Right, I'm going to get on. I don't know how much videoing I'll do today because it's the wind and the rain. It's the wind. It's the wind. I know I'm moaning about the wind, but it's the wind. That's the bit I'm worried about. Anyway, we'll see. I'll see you later. Bridge is here somewhere. Just need to, because this needs to wait for the tide to go a bit more. Shouldn't take long. So it's not going brilliantly. I've got to the tidal bridge and it's underwater. I don't want to walk the long way round, although I probably should have done, but now I've waited, may as well wait. I'm proper wet. It's okay. I was hanging around near the bridge there and I was starting to get cold and stuff. So I've taken some shelter. I'm still wet, but once I get walking, I'll warm up again. But yeah, just because I was hanging around and the rain's just coming down, I'm just getting cold. The shelter's not very good, but it's better than standing out there. Yeah, give it half an hour, then I'm going to get over, hopefully. Okay, I need to make an apology. There will not be much footage today. The weather is so bad. It's like driving rain. It's the wind, the rain. I'm absolutely drenched. I wanted to film myself walking over the low tide bridge because I paddled through, but I couldn't because the phone doesn't work with the wet screen and I've got wet hands. It's only 10 o'clock and yeah, this is testing me, I'll be honest. I'm so glad I bought that room in the youth hostel. The only thing is I've got to get to it. So that's, I don't know how many miles that is. So I'm just gonna, I mean, if I can film stuff, I'll film stuff. Basically, there's a lot of sea, it's really rough, and there's a lot of rain, and there's a lot of wind. That's the gist. But I'm just gonna try and press on and just get there, I think. The wind's gonna get stronger and stronger through the day. But I'm about to head into Newquay now, so that maybe will be a little bit shielded, but then I'm back out onto the cliffs. So I think it's just going to be head down, get through it. I don't think there's a lot else I can do. Yeah, onwards. Okay, things have improved a little bit. I got so cold and I got so wet. I'm just over. I was starting to think that this is probably the worst day walking I've ever had. I've got through Newquay now. I forced myself to stop. It was a Burger King. I'm not proud, but I forced myself to stop for some food. But they had the aircon in there, so I was eating. I was getting just really cold because I'm wet. I could just feel my body just proper getting cold. Then I walked on a bit, warmed up a bit. Then there was a Tesco, so I just got some supplies for either later today or tomorrow. But I'm out the wind at the moment, and I think the rain's let off a bit, or the rain has let off. Let's hope it doesn't start again. So I'm starting to feel, now I'm walking, starting to warm up again. The bottom half is starting to dry out. My feet are drenched. My feet are absolutely wet through. My waterproof socks are no longer waterproof. It's official. So I'm sort of walking in puddles now, constantly, as if my socks are a puddle. But I feel a lot much better now. Around 10, 11 o'clock, when drying rain, I was going, if this is for the next week or so, well, I would do it, but I don't want to. It's one of those, isn't it? You don't want to fail, but it wasn't pleasant. Anyway, it's a lot better now. As I walk out, I'm going that way. The wind will hit me again. But as long as it's just wind, it will just be annoying. I don't know. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. it's funny, as you walk along, you're thinking, warm shower's going to be nice. It's almost worth going through this to have the warm shower at the end. I think, yeah, that way I appreciate the warm shower more than anyone else will today. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to carry on. I don't know, it's probably about 8 miles, 10 miles to the youth hostel now. But this rain can, do you know, it's not a problem. It's just when you have to stop to do things like food and stuff like that. Stopping's the problem, because then you have to get your pack off, and then all things get wet and stuff like that. It just complicates everything. While you're actually walking along, it doesn't really matter what the weather's doing. It's just things like filming and stuff like that. You can't, when the rain, it just makes it so much harder. So even if it does rain, it'll be fine. I didn't. I forgot to do a video last night when I got to the youth hostel. I'm really sorry about that. Very remiss of me. I think it was just the excitement of getting to the youth hostel. Made me forget. So the youth hostel wasn't as successful as I hoped. I was really looking forward to it all day, and it didn't quite work out as I planned. Maybe I'm just being fussy. But I wanted to get there because I wanted to get out of the wind. Yes, it did do that. I wanted to be able to dry my clothes. I wanted to get a decent meal. I wanted a breakfast and stuff like that. So, I got there, got checked in, everything, that was all fine, and then I had a shower. Now that was good. I did like the shower and got into my dry clothes. Then I took my clothes then I went to find the drying room, and it was absolutely packed of stuff everywhere. Clothes hanging off, anything you can imagine. There was a bit of clothing hanging off it, and I was looking and I was thinking, well, the two things. One was there was no room. It was just a little room with a radiator. Didn't seem to have any ventilation, so there was no room. And the second thing was, I don't think my clothes would have dried in there. It was so humid, obviously. I'm convinced I myself was wetter after I left the room than before I walked in. I'm convinced of it. So anyway, I went back to my room and just hung up the stuff as best I could to dry. And yeah, so that was that. Not the end of the world. Then I started trying to charge stuff, and some of my wires had got wet, so that I didn't have enough things in dry bags. So some of that wasn't working either. That wasn't youth hostel's fault. That was my fault. Then I thought, right, I'll go down and get some dinner, and it was absolutely rammed solid, and I couldn't. There was nowhere to sit down. The bar was massive, so thick of people. There was a couple of lads there just showing off to each other, swearing and stuff. And I mean, I can handle swear words, don't get me wrong, but kids can't swear responsibly. They don't know how to do it. It's nasty when they do it. Anyway, so I didn't get any food. I decided to go back to my room and just have the sandwiches I bought earlier, which might mess me up later, I don't know. So that was that. Do you know what? It probably weren't that bad. It just wasn't really what I was expecting. But I did get out of the wind, like I said, so that was quite good. There was just so many people. I guess it's half term, it's my own fault, but because I've managed to book the room so late, I figured they weren't that busy. But gosh, I was wrong. So yeah, that was disappointing. But this morning I decided I'll get down early for breakfast. 7:30's the first breakfast. Got downstairs straight away for 7:30. And that made me feel quite smug because there was a few people down there, got what I wanted, and then as I was leaving at about, I don't know, coming up for 8 o'clock, it was getting proper rammed again. Loads of people down there, people moving each other's stuff, and people with loads of kids trying to, yeah, and I would never move someone else's stuff. I might ask, maybe, or can I sit there? I'd never move someone else's stuff, so some people have just got more confidence than me, I guess. Anyway, so that made me feel quite smug. Back to the room, I'm about to be attacked by a dog. No, I said attacked. I didn't mean attacked. You know what I mean. So yeah, put my wet clothes on, but it's sunny today though, so I wasn't too worried. Put my boots on, and they're so heavy with rain, I could feel my dry socks, soaking water out of the boots. So that was fun. And and my backpack is so heavy because my tent is so wet. It's just the backpack was so heavy, and I must have put up with that all of yesterday as well because my tent was wet from the night before. I hadn't had a chance to dry it out because of the weather. So yeah, I was a bit gloomy this morning. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to be doing this anymore, which is an awful thought, you know, when you're doing something you really want to do. Anyway, good news. Left the hostel, walked about 3 miles, realised it was windy, but not anywhere about half as windy as yesterday, and the sun was out. So I stopped at the top of a hill, got my tent out, dried it all out, took my boots off, dried my socks again, and figure that I'll just keep taking my boots off, and the socks will dry, and eventually the socks will have extracted all the moisture out of the boots, so they'll be lighter as well. But I put my backpack on after drying my tent, and the difference is just amazing. It's like literal weight lifted off me now. I could feel the backpack weight yesterday. I feel it pushing down on my hips, and it was pushing on my back. And now it's lightweight again. It's great. So I've obviously had a breakfast, but I'm going to get to a cafe. I think Harlem Bay is that way a bit. And I'm going to have a second breakfast there. And I might even have a breakfast pudding. My kids sometimes used to say, oh, what's for pudding after breakfast? And I'd say, you don't have pudding for breakfast. Well, yeah, you do now. That is the new thing. I'm going to have pudding with breakfast. I don't care. I don't care what the rules say. There's a jam donut or something, or a currant bun or something. Yeah, I'll have it. Yeah. So basically I've gone from doom and gloom to feeling really happy and really glad again to be on the walk. So, got to get to Padstow, which is longer than you think, get the ferry across, then it's walking up the coast, ultimately towards sort of Port Isaac. I got to Port Isaac last time, but I won't get there today. I had some kind of athletic spurt that day, which I won't have today. But we'll see what happens. I know that bit of coastline's quite hard work. It's hard work all the way to Harlem Point now, really. So I'm just going to take it easy. Anyway, sorry for the long rant, but we've ended in a really good place, I think. Stuff like this I actually find quite difficult, climbing over that. I think I got in the way. Yeah, climbing over that I find it quite hard. Oh well, here we go. So many people. A busy half term. Right, I've stopped for the day. It's not the first time I've stopped for the day. I found a good spot, and then this guy walked by, and he was going climbing, which is cool. And he was a nice man, and he said, "Oh, there's a really good spot just a bit further on." So I thought, yeah, why not? I couldn't find it, so this might be it that I'm in now. But it might not be. Anyway, I'm much further from the path now, so hopefully I won't get disturbed. So that's good. It's always a worry. I think I said that before. Always a worry when you're wild camp, scared that someone's going to tell you off. It's not happened yet though. Might happen one day. Stay at me. So very good day. Obviously I started it in a bit of a mope, but that feels like years ago, absolutely years ago. But everything's gone well today. No, I didn't get my double breakfast. I didn't get my breakfast pudding. It ended up being a late lunch, but I did get a pudding. It's just because it's really busy at all the cafes and stuff, because it's half term. So many people in the built up places, and I just couldn't be bothered with it. But by the time I got to Padstow, which was also very busy, it was like 2:00, so I had to eat. So I sat down on some fish and chips, so that's quite nice. Having a sit down, not getting attacked by the seagulls because I was indoors, so that was good. So it was a late lunch, but that's fine. And then I got the ferry over. But yeah, pretty perfect. Body seems to be working all right. So nothing negative to say at all. The friendly people at half term, they come out in the evenings, I've found. Because I found it's sort of lost its, like I say, its warmth this week. And I guess it's just because there's so many people and they're all on holiday, and it's the same thing as busy places. But that warmth seems to come back in the evening when you meet people and you chat to people when you're out on the path outside the built-up area. So that's nice. Felt happy about that. So yeah, not a lot to say. Going to set up my tent in a bit. I think I've got room here. Well, I did a little spin around already, didn't I? So I've got a really lovely view of up to Tintagel, I think. I can probably see Tintagel. That's where I'm going to head for tomorrow. And everything's dry as well, that's one thing. Didn't need a drying room. Like, everything. My boxers, my shorts, all that, they were dry within about an hour this morning. So I'm glad I didn't put them in that horrible drying room. Yeah, just air dried. I did get lucky with the weather today. If it had been another day like yesterday, then obviously I would have stayed wet. But it's come good. The wind's still there in places, but half the speed it was, well, third of the speed it was yesterday. So yeah, all good. And I got to go on a ferry. The thing is, the ferry was operating the low tide route, so I walked down to the beach where the low tide route was. The exact moment they switched to the high tide route, so I had to walk all the way back. But that did force me to go into Padstow to get some dinner, so it was a blessing there, because I probably wouldn't have ate again. I probably would have waited till I got over to what the place is on the other side of Padstow, and I can't remember what it's called. So it was probably good. Yeah, lucky to be on the path today. Really happy.